Hello and welcome to Fedmail. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon. I hope you and your family members, your loved ones and friends are all doing well and are feeling healthy. As I've mentioned in previous editions of Fedmail, if you or someone you know is in need of help in any way, financially, or in need of grocery delivery or some other service or action, please let us know. We've partnered with Jewish Family and Children's Service, and we want to make sure to reach everyone in need in the community. You can let us know by emailing director@jfcm.org or just replying to this email. Please have a look below at the different webinars and programs we have listed. We want to keep the connection between you and the Jewish community strong, and these are enriching, entertaining, and enjoyable programs that we've collected from around the web. Some of them are brought to you by our partners around the globe, and they're educational, and we hope you'll take part in them. I also want to add that a number of people have asked me to comment on the tweet from Deshaun Jackson, the Philadelphia Eagles player, who last week made a despicable, deplorable, and disgusting anti-Semitic comment. I was interviewed by Spectrum News earlier today, and I simply want to say that I think that Julian Edelman's response, Julian Edelman, of course, is a well-known Jewish football player from our area. He said that education and outreach is the most important aspect of this. Now, of course, on one hand, we can have no tolerance for anti-Semitism, and particularly when an anti-Semitic comment is made by someone with such influence and reach. Deshaun Jackson has, I believe, several million followers on his social media accounts. So we certainly shouldn't tolerate it. But we should also look at moments like this as opportunities to recognize that there's very likely a large segment of our population that harbors anti-Semitic views or views of some degree of anti-Semitism. We've heard it enough from enough people, and we've seen the statistics of rising anti-Semitic acts to recognize that this is not something that is only held by some small minority. And if it is, they're overly vocal. But Julian Edelman mentioned that this is an opportunity to learn and to build a relationship and to teach Deshaun Jackson and others about being Jewish and about the Jewish people. He suggested that Deshaun Jackson visit the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum down in Washington, D.C. I personally think that that's a very important piece of the education process. And of course, we should also recognize that within the NFL, there are Jewish leaders who can help to guide this process. In any event, it serves as yet another wake-up call to the Jewish community that we need to do more to ensure that these types of anti-Semitic behaviors, comments, and thoughts are eradicated. That takes us being good teachers, doing good outreach, and encouraging good education on what it means to be Jewish, including educating ourselves and our children about this action and this phenomenon. And that's something that Jewish Federation works on, and our partners are all part of. And it's particularly important, I think, in light of the fact not only that anti-Semitic incidents and comments are seemingly on the rise, but also because on our calendar right now we're entering the 3 weeks, the period of mourning commemorating the destruction of the First and Second Temple. And going back and reading Josephus, the Roman Jewish historian who wrote about those events that happened 2,000 years ago, we can see very clearly that disunity in the Jewish community played a large part in hastening the destruction of our people in those days. And that's a lesson through time that we certainly need to learn and remember. We must be united, and we must be united in the front against our enemies, particularly the vocal anti-Semites in the world who have the mouthpiece to reach millions of people across the country. Never before in the history of humankind, excuse me, has technology existed that allows a reach like that. Newspapers in the past might have done it, but they pale in comparison to what you're able to do today on Twitter and Facebook. And I mentioned also you'll be getting a copy of the Ledger in the coming weeks, and I talk about the internet and writing tweets and those sorts of things. And when we tweet to offer our support, whether it's to support the doctors who are on the front line of the COVID response, or we tweet in support of other social or religious justice movements, that's one small action that can be taken. But really what we need is real concrete action. We need, as it relates to the Jewish community, we really need to support our Jewish institutions, particularly now during these challenging times. And we should keep that in mind. So my message for you on this Shabbat is that we must continue to be united. We must continue to support our Jewish community, our Jewish institutions, and we can tweet, we can write on Facebook to comment what others have said, but really the true action comes from being one strong, united, and supported, well-supported Jewish community. And that will enable us to have the safety and stability that we want so badly and so deeply. So with that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.